you Cowboys. Y'all officially did it. You have officially done it. The impossible. Your season is over. After game 1. Alright, that's enough about that. Let's go ahead and get this thing started. First and Tim on a Monday. Hope you guys are doing well. Tough game last night. Not really much of a game. A lot of good defensive game, but it was enough to make the news, which we knew it would. Not necessarily because it involved Tom Brady, but the Cowboys. The Cowboys season is unofficially over. Not officially, but unofficially over. Let me take it this way. Prescott looked like garbage. Defense did get their job against Tampa Bay. Micah Parsons sacked Brady twice and held him to only 19 points. In the end, it comes down to this. Cowboys, your number 1 is gone. Your number 3 receiver is gone. Your number 2, who's become a number 1, we don't know if he's ready to be number 1. Your running back is a question mark. And now your star quarterback is down 6 to 8 weeks with an injury. Even with it being the worst division in football as of this morning, you're last place. You're last place in your division. We're going to find out really quickly what Jerry Jones thinks of his football team. Some people say they need to move on a small-time quarterback just to give it ease that they care about this team. Otherwise, they're saying, we aren't confident in moving forward. Compare it with putting these two together. Wentz and Prescott. Okay? Wentz had that run where he kept getting hurt, and the conversation was, we can't count on him to stay healthy. Well, I wouldn't put Dak there yet, but he's pretty close. If you still think you them boys, then you need to make a move otherwise. Season's over right now. It's a wrap. You will not be going and playing in the postseason. Moving on. Wild game. Wild game. We got the Packers and the Vikings. And y'all know how I felt about that, what I talked about on Friday. I told you the Vikings would win. I still believe the Vikings are going to lead the division. Aaron Rodgers didn't have his best game. And a lot of people are picking sides of who to blame, whether it's Rodgers, whether it's LaFleur, whether it's the defense. Rodgers said this in the post-game interview. He said, there was going to be growing pains. This is the real football. Got to have patience with these guys. They're young. It starts with preparation, and there were too many issues, and you've got to know what you're supposed to do. This preparation thing that he's talked about, he's now said it twice. The first time was several weeks ago. Okay, Packers fans, that should bother you. Rodgers came out 2 weeks ago saying about the mental mistakes, and we can't have that. This is where I'm taking it. Rodgers, great quarterback. But as a quarterback, brilliant as he is, and arrogant as he may be, and justifiable as he is, because when you're that great, you can afford to be that arrogant. But you also have to be realistic. You can't catch the ball yourself. You can't run the routes for the receivers. 75-yard pass dropped by rookie receiver Watson, and it would have been a touchdown. Guess what? Devontae Adams would never drop that pass. Valdez-Scantling ain't dropping it. Point is, you got your money and made your noise. And yes, ultimately Packers were going to give Adams the same amount of money the Raiders were offering him. But he alluded to Rodgers going back and forth contemplating about his future, his life, and how long he would be there. And it all had to do with him walking out the door. Listen to me. I'm saying is, if I'm Rodgers, you know what you need. You can't be that brilliant and not know what you need. But Aaron's like, I'm good. I got my money. There's poor people around. I got my money, though. Yesterday, Rodgers came to the realization Davante Adams is not coming through that door. Who you got to rely on? Minnesota had a 16-point margin of victory, tied largest versus the Packers over the last 20 seasons. Remember, Rodgers wasn't happy last year, and the Packers went back and forth about Adams' contract. But ultimately, Aaron was in the center of all of that. You cannot give him a pass on that. If I'm a quarterback, the number one thing I'm fighting for is my number one weapon. Don't take that away from me. One can argue that he didn't fight enough. Packers and Rodgers, offense, they're not on the same page. All right, Bengals and Steelers. Wild, crazy game on Sunday, in my opinion. The Steelers' defense crushed Burrow, my starting quarterback for my fantasy. Ouch. Still averaged 18 points, but still, he could have done a lot better. The Bengals rebuilt their O-line in the offseason, but where were they? Burrow was sacked 7 times, 5 turnovers as a career high. I thought this was a quarterback league. On Sunday, it seemed like it was a kicker league because so many games were decided by field goals. Bengals had crazy chances to win. Zach Taylor didn't have a good game as a coach. McPherson may be the second best in the league, and he didn't perform well under pressure. The Steelers got lucky, and here's my concern. Here's my concern with the Steelers, okay? They come into the game, scripted plays, and they take the lead, and the defensive carries them. Then you can tell by looking at the staff, they don't trust Trubisky. Watch how the coaches are coaching certain QBs. This is evident with the 49ers with Trey Lance. Pittsburgh is holding on to near death. And if you have a 5-0 turnover advantage and you have to take it to overtime to win, you can celebrate that. But you're lucky. Burrow had a couple of these games last year. Herbert did a couple stinkers as well. And so did Mahomes, but never back-to-back. Burrow's going to be fine. Where are we going now? Yeah, the Panthers and Browns. Man, I don't think anybody saw this coming. I mean, Baker didn't really get upset and get going until the fourth quarter. But my first take is blame Sam Darnold. And that O-line is atrocious. And now Myles Garrett is the best defensive player in the league. But that was a tough assignment for a rookie left tackle. Garrett is the most intimidating player. He doesn't look like other players. All the edge rushers were ahead of left tackles. A lot of rookies are second-year guys. Edge rushers had a great weekend. O-line and kickers, they did not. Browns won it by 2. All right, switching to college football. Normal week for them as the AP poll came out as Georgia took over Alabama for the top spot. So we have Georgia at 1, Alabama 2, Ohio State 3, Michigan 4, Clemson 5, Oklahoma 6, USC went into 7th, Oklahoma State is 8, Kentucky beating Florida, they went to 9, and then Arkansas beating South Carolina as the 10th spot. A lot of SEC teams. By the way, Notre Dame, 2 losses, lost to Marshall, now their quarterback is out for the season. Kentucky, they've got a good coach, Mark Stoops. Arkansas, Sam Pittman's a good coach as well. Everybody really, I think, was shocked and probably glued to the TV with Alabama and Texas. Alabama neither survived. And Saban said this. He said, players have to respect what it takes to win. I think our guys played hard in the game. They persevered in a game in tough circumstances. They overcame adversity. They showed resiliency. But it's all about playing smart, having good discipline to execute, focus on what's in front of you, and do your job. And not only do your job, but do it fundamentally with the correct technique. I'll say this. Call it the Kirby Smart effect, okay? Bama's pass rush is not very good. The receivers, yeah, they're okay. This is what happens. 4 or 5 players a year leave Bama and they go to Georgia. Mario Cristobal up and down in Miami is going to start this where he starts rolling in and peeling Southern boys away down to Miami. But Bama's still great. But it doesn't have much of a pass rush outside of Will Anderson. Georgia does. And the receivers don't separate. So when you watch the game against Texas, they start freshmen everywhere. And Bama's not as fast. They don't have separators. The Kirby Smart effect. A couple Saban coordinators. Kiffin, great coordinator. Smart, great coordinator. All it takes is about 4 to 5 guys a year that they don't get. And Kiffin and Smart do. Georgia's faster and better with a pass rush. Most coordinators, where am I at here? Most coordinators don't pan out, but two have. Kiffin and Smart. It doesn't add to much. They steal a couple a year. Then you look up and you're not as fast on the edges. You don't have consistent pass rush, and your linebackers are 4 stars, not 5-star guys. It's not overwhelming. Bama may win the title, but they're very average pass rush. Sorry, my speaker went off. Okay, so my pick for Sunday with Carolina. If KU or the rookie had not kicked a 58-yarder, you know what? I would have had that win. So I said Vikings were going to beat Green Bay. Vikings are going to win the division. But what I really said was, stop telling me how Davante Adams is going to be without Rodgers. It's more like, what's Aaron Rodgers going to do without Davante Adams? Well, it's evident. He doesn't trust young receivers. Once Watson dropped that ball, he didn't go back to him until the fourth quarter. And then Dobbs, made a mistake with communication. Aaron ghosted him. Aaron is predictable, and his history is you burn him, he'll move off of you. You can't do that with this roster, Aaron. Watkins and Cobb are not the answer. These rookies and Alan Lazard are your season. Get over it. Kids make mistakes. All right, and lastly, I'll give you my preview for the Broncos-Seahawks tonight. I think Russ will get a standing ovation like Brady and Manning when he returns tonight. Then the Broncos will come out, and all the booing will start. I don't see this being a blowout like 45-0, looking more like maybe a 24-3 Broncos win for Russ. He's going back with the better team, bottom line, okay? Denver, we know what they have defensively. Offensively, Courtland Sutherland. He says he's the dude. Jerry Jeudy's supposed to be that guy. I want to see what the receivers are going to bring to the table. Russ is 104-53 as a quarterback. He's a Super Bowl champion. He's gone back-to-back Super Bowls. He's a playoff participant. So when we look at the Broncos, we should be looking at the guys around him. Should be saying, what are you guys made of? To be fair, we know what Russ is made of. This is about his legacy tonight. Not much is expected of Seattle tonight. We know this. DK Metcalf, we know he's something. Tyler Lockett, Noah Fant, same thing. But when you have Geno Smith and Drew Lock at the helm, Russell Wilson, you better handle your business and show up tonight, because at least you could do is be the best tonight. So, all right, I know it's a shortened version. I had to get home and do a lot of stuff, so this is a shortened version of the First and Tim take. I hope you guys watch the game tonight, and if you follow this, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and my next take will be Thursday. It'll be a preview for the Thursday game, and then I'll get one on Wednesday, and then I'll get the preview for the Friday for college football and some other things. So, thanks for watching.